Welcome to Sleepy Science. Some animals vanish when winter comes, but they do not truly leave, and they do not die. Their hearts slow, their breathing stretches into long pauses, and their bodies cool until they almost belong to the cold around them. Time loses meaning. Days pass unnoticed. Weeks dissolve into silence. The world moves on, unaware of the strange pause happening beneath the snow or underground. This is hibernation, not sleep, not rest, but a hidden rhythm that lets life exist while stepping out of time. It is an ancient secret, a quiet waiting that holds both presence and disappearance. Tonight, you will hear the most relaxing, mysterious facts about hibernation, stories that pull your mind downward and let your thoughts drift without effort. Stay with the story, and if you want more hidden truths, subscribe to Sleepy Science. The first cold days of autumn come quietly. The forest does not announce them. The leaves turn, but no one hurries to notice. Still, deep inside the woods, something begins to change. It is not in the air, not in the light, not in the sound. It is inside bodies that will soon pause, that will choose a strange form of waiting. Hibernation is not sleep. It is not rest. It is something older than fear or hunger, a way life bends without breaking. A bear lumbers through the trees. It moves slowly, but not because it is tired. Its eyes follow the paths it has walked many times. Its mouth chews methodically, deliberately, as if each bite is measured against a hidden clock. The world feels normal, yet inside, the bear's body has already begun preparing for months it will not walk through in the usual sense. Its heart has started to change, slowing in secret. Its blood cools in ways invisible to the eye. Energy is stored, not used. The body practices patience it cannot yet explain. Beneath the forest floor, other lives are shifting too. A small ground squirrel darts into its burrow, collecting the last few seeds before the soil hardens. Its movements are quick but careful, efficient without frenzy. Once inside the darkness, it begins a different kind of preparation. Fat layers will become instructions for survival. Muscles relax in ways they will not for months. Bones and organs take note of time differently, learning a rhythm that humans cannot feel. This is hibernation in its first whispers. No alarm announces it. No outside event marks it clearly. Only the body knows. A temperature change, a shortening day, a memory stored in molecules instead of thought. The lungs take a slower pace. The heart beats with more space between each push, and slowly the body allows itself to step into stillness. This is not a choice made in the mind. It is something deeper, something that exists in the pattern of life itself. The animal is still aware, still alive, still moving when necessary, but it is also beginning a journey into quiet that the world cannot see. Even the idea of hunger changes. The bear eats without urgency. It does not gorge itself in panic. Each mouthful is not a response to need, but a preparation for absence. Calories are not just energy. They are a map for months ahead. Every cell notes the coming emptiness, stores fuel for a time when the jaws will no longer move. The squirrel's fat becomes a soft promise, invisible yet essential, that will feed a body that will not consume. Even small creatures have learned the secret of life's pause. Inside these bodies, the heart takes the lead. In a bat curled high in a hollow tree, the beat slows, stretching into pauses that might seem dangerous to anyone watching. A minute passes, perhaps two. Silence fills the gap. Life exists there, not gone, not weak, just quiet. The body has learned how to survive in the spaces between action. Every pulse becomes a reminder that survival is not always loud or visible. This is the first mystery of hibernation. The world can move on, seasons can change, but life will continue even when it appears almost invisible. The lungs follow the heart. Breaths come slower, shallower, but still enough. Air is accepted, not demanded. Oxygen is no longer urgent. The body decides what is enough, not instinct, not thought. The small hedgehog burrows deeper into leaves and dirt, curling into a tight ball, and each breath is a quiet note in a long, unfinished song. Outside, the wind rustles. The leaves shift. The world moves, but inside, life is learning to exist in silence. As the body withdraws, the mind follows in a gentle retreat. Memory fades, not fully, but enough that past worries lose weight. Thoughts arrive late and leave early. Dreams do not guide the dark, but the animal is not unconscious. It is aware in a way that is neither urgent nor restless. Awareness becomes thin, like a thread stretched across a wide space. The dormouse, hidden under frozen branches, moves little. Its mind feels the edges of reality, but it does not cling to them. It is a witness to a quiet form of being that humans cannot fully touch. Time itself bends. Weeks pass without notice. Months do not grow long. The marmot sleeps for what seems like days and wakes only to adjust slightly, its internal clock barely noting the world beyond. The forest does not wait for it. The wind changes, storms arrive, snow begins to gather. Life goes on outside, but inside, time is something the body measures differently. Hibernation is a distortion of the usual flow, a private calendar written in heartbeats and breaths. Stillness dominates. Muscles relax but do not weaken. Bones carry no pressure. The animal becomes a shadow of itself, yet every system remains present. In a frozen frog beneath a pond, the body is solid, yet alive. Each cell hums quietly, conserving energy, maintaining what is essential. Motion is not required to remain alive. The body has learned that waiting is a form of survival, one that cannot be rushed, one that must be obeyed. Even the body's defenses step back. The immune system slows, reactions delay. The chipmunk curled in its nest accepts vulnerability. It trusts stillness more than alertness. Danger exists, but absence itself becomes a shield. Life in hibernation is a delicate balance, a dance where every move is measured against the patience of time itself. The line between the animal and its surroundings blurs. Temperature falls close to the environment. The turtle hidden beneath mud at the bottom of a pond becomes nearly invisible, almost a part of the earth. The world may pass without noticing it exists. The body knows how to survive in quiet, how to blend, how to let months slip without needing attention. Life becomes subtle, almost secret, and yet systems never fully stop. The heart continues to beat, the lungs continue to breathe, cells continue their quiet work. Life teeters on the edge of disappearance, but it does not fall. It survives in ways invisible to most eyes. This is the strange, almost magical truth of hibernation. Life does not need to shout to exist. It can remain patient, hidden, and untouched by passing time. Change begins slowly. Sometimes it is almost imperceptible. Heat returns unevenly. The heart remembers its rhythm before the mind does. Breathing resumes fully before awareness returns. The bear stirs first, pushing against layers of snow. The small creatures, once curled tight, begin to stretch. The world outside may feel different, but the quiet rhythm inside has already started to awaken. Hibernation is not just a pause. It is a transformation, a secret life lived in absence. Every creature that experiences it carries the knowledge of patience, of survival without urgency, of existence beyond ordinary time. And though they will emerge, step by step, life will carry traces of that hidden world inside them, reminders that stillness can hold life just as fully as motion does. Cold arrives slowly, almost unnoticed at first. It is not a sharp, biting wind, but a quiet presence that slips through trees and under rocks, filling every space that is not guarded. The air carries it gently, brushing against fur and feathers, and the animals that will hibernate feel it in ways humans cannot understand. Their bodies do not fight it. They do not panic. Instead, they begin to let it in, almost like water soaking into soil. The temperature becomes a companion, not an enemy. Underground, small animals adjust to this quiet change. A squirrel curls into the hollow it has lined with leaves. Its body is warm at first, but slowly, almost without noticing, that warmth begins to ebb. Fat layers beneath the skin take over, holding what is needed, while the surface cools. Its heart continues to beat, but slower now, learning to trust the cold instead of resisting it. Every system inside adapts in silence. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is sudden. Survival becomes a delicate agreement with the environment rather than a battle against it. Above ground, a bear does not notice the change at first. It moves through the forest, still eating, still following its usual paths. Yet its body begins surrendering warmth without permission from the mind. Muscles relax in ways they have never relaxed before. The heart extends the gap between beats. The bear is still awake, still aware, but its body is practicing a kind of absence. Even the air around it feels different, denser, slower, as if the forest itself is learning to breathe less. Hibernation is strange because it teaches the body patience. There is no rush, no urgency. Even the cold is patient. It slips into fur and feathers, into skin and bone and waits. The animals do not resist. The lungs take in air without demand. The heart slows, taking longer to move the blood through veins that seem colder now, quieter. Life continues, but it is almost invisible to anyone looking from the outside. It is as if the body is learning that it does not need to fight every change, that some forces can be allowed to enter and pass through without harm. In the small burrows beneath frozen leaves, life becomes measured by gaps instead of movements. The chipmunk curls tightly, letting its body temperature fall closer to the soil. Its muscles loosen, but they do not fail. Its bones remain strong. The warmth that once seemed necessary for every step, every twitch, every breath begins to slip away, surrendered intentionally. It is a strange skill, this giving up of what seems essential. And yet, in the surrender there is safety, a kind of quiet mastery over life itself. Outside, the first frost appears, and the forest feels different. Shadows stretch longer and linger. The wind moves slowly through branches, carrying a quiet reminder that change is not optional. The animals below ground, however, are not afraid. They have learned another kind of timing, one that does not respond to the rush of days or the cold of nights. Their bodies understand that survival does not always require struggle. The smallest adjustments, the slow letting go of warmth, can keep life intact for months. In the hollow of a tree, a bat clings to rough bark. Its body is already cooler than the air. Every heartbeat takes longer, pauses stretching in ways that would seem dangerous to a human eye. It does not panic. The lungs respond slowly, inhaling and exhaling with almost a conscious rhythm that belongs to neither time nor urgency. The cold is not an enemy but a guide, showing how the body can function in a slower, more deliberate way. Even in apparent stillness, life moves with intention that is invisible. The process of surrendering temperature is not abrupt. It is a gradual teaching, a dialogue between body and environment. The bear, the squirrel, the bat, they all participate without knowledge, without awareness of the larger pattern. Fat stores become instructions. Organs begin to follow their own timing. The muscles and bones practice patience. Even the skin senses the change, allowing heat to leave without resistance. There is no fear. There is no alarm. Only learning and the quiet continuation of life. It is easy to imagine that survival requires constant struggle, constant movement, constant heat. Hibernation proves the opposite. The body can let go, and in letting go, it holds on in a different way. Time slows for the animals as their bodies adjust. Breaths lengthen, hearts pause, and energy is conserved. Weeks can pass without noticeable change in behavior, and still, the living systems inside are active, quietly maintaining the balance between life and disappearance. Even the smallest creatures have an innate understanding of this. A hedgehog, curled beneath fallen leaves, allows its body to cool gradually. Every shiver, every twitch is carefully measured. It is not conscious thought that guides this process. It is chemistry, instinct, and evolution combining to teach the body that letting go does not mean losing. Warmth is surrendered, but life is preserved. The hedgehog rests in a silence that is not empty. It is full of quiet calculation, of systems operating in a hidden harmony that humans rarely notice. Outside, the world continues with no regard for this secret waiting. Snow gathers slowly. The wind moves through bare branches. The frost thickens. Yet underground, beneath leaves, inside hollow trees, and beneath frozen ponds, animals practice a strange form of patience. Life can exist in cold, in silence, in absence, without alertness or noise. There is something almost magical in this ability, a secret held for millions of years, quietly passed from one generation to the next. The process is not uniform. Some bodies surrender heat faster than others. Some animals are still warm near the skin while their core cools, while others achieve an almost uniform chill. Yet all follow the same principle. Survival is possible without constant resistance. The body learns that energy does not always need to be spent. Muscles can relax. Bones can carry no weight. Heat can leave the body slowly, methodically, without harm. The cold is a teacher. Life listens. It is not only about survival. It is about balance. The animal does not fight the environment but cooperates with it. It exists in a quiet negotiation between inside and outside, between warmth and cold, between motion and stillness. The bear moves through the forest, the bat clings to the tree, the squirrel rests in its burrow, and all are following a hidden rhythm that few humans have ever seen or felt. Hibernation is this rhythm, and it begins with surrender, with trust, with quiet acceptance of the world as it is. The cold becomes a companion rather than an enemy. It does not push or pull. It does not demand. It teaches the body how to survive in absence, how to preserve energy without losing life. Heartbeats, breaths, and body temperature are all part of a system that has learned to wait, to exist in a slower, quieter reality. Even when danger exists above ground, even when storms arrive, even when the forest changes, life continues in its hidden pattern below, untouched and patient. It is strange to think of life this way. Survival without motion, energy without activity, warmth surrendered without fear. Yet this is exactly what happens quietly beneath the forest floor, inside hollow trees, under frozen ponds. The small creatures, the large ones, all participate in this hidden symphony. Hibernation is not just about cold. It is about learning to exist in a state of suspended intensity, a pause that is still alive, a quiet that is filled with life. And as the cold deepens, the animals do not notice the passage of time. Days and nights lose their usual meaning. Heartbeats mark a different rhythm. Breaths follow a pattern that belongs only to the body. Muscles and bones wait. Fat holds its energy. Life does not stop. It continues quietly, patiently, almost invisibly, preparing for a long journey that will not be measured by clocks, sunrises, or human awareness. This is the secret of hibernation. It is not sleep. It is not rest. It is a state of quiet mastery over life itself, a surrender to the cold without surrendering existence, a trust in the invisible rules that govern the body and the world. And in this quiet, strange, hidden place, life thrives in ways that humans rarely see. A lesson that continues with every heartbeat, every breath, and every cool, deliberate pause. The heart begins to tell a different story. It slows, not because it is weak, not because it is failing, but because it has learned another rhythm, one that does not hurry or demand attention. In the hollow of a winter tree, a bat clings to rough bark, its tiny chest rising and falling with pauses that stretch longer than a human mind can follow. Minutes slip between beats, yet life does not falter. The body exists in those spaces, quietly, almost invisibly, as if each pause is a secret the world cannot notice. The pause between heartbeats is strange. It is not emptiness. It is not stillness. It is life, almost suspended, aware yet patient. The blood moves slowly, carrying warmth to the core but sparing every drop of energy. The bear in its den experiences the same rhythm, though its body is larger, more powerful. Each beat stretches the gap, allowing the heart to rest without stopping, letting the body exist in a slow, careful pulse that humans cannot feel from the outside. Time itself bends inside these rhythms. A minute may pass, but it is felt as nothing. 2 minutes may feel like a heartbeat. The world outside continues, wind brushing over snow, frost thickening along branches, leaves crunching under the weight of cold. Yet inside, life is measured not by minutes or hours but by the spaces in between beats. Every pulse is a quiet instruction: survive, wait, be still. Life has found a form that does not need motion to exist. Even breathing follows this hidden rhythm. Long before the cold reaches its deepest point, lungs learn that air is optional, that oxygen can be accepted slowly, in small portions. The bat inhales with a long, careful pause, then exhales almost silently, stretching the gaps between each breath. The heart takes its cue, and the two work together in a quiet conversation that is invisible to the forest. Every movement is deliberate, every pause necessary, each gap a space where life can continue without revealing itself. Underground, a chipmunk curls in its burrow, its tiny heart slowing alongside its breaths. Muscles relax, bones bear no weight, and warmth is conserved in soft layers of fat. The small body has learned patience beyond instinct. It does not panic when the outside freezes. It does not need to react to storms or predators in this time. Its heart and lungs have become teachers, showing how life can persist in silence, how existence does not always need action, how survival can be hidden in gaps where the world cannot see. This slowing of the heart is not uniform. It is not mechanical. Each animal adjusts differently, each beat and pause unique. In one bat, the gap between beats may last a few seconds longer than in another. In a bear, it may stretch for a full minute or more. But the principle is the same. Life does not stop. It continues, almost invisible, almost secret, in the spaces where activity seems absent but is, in truth, alive and patient. Even in these pauses, there is awareness. The animal is not unconscious. The heart may slow, the lungs may delay, but the senses are still there, tuned to danger in a subtle way. A bat may awaken briefly if the temperature drops too fast. A bear may stir if the snow presses too heavily on its den. Life has not vanished. It has learned to exist quietly, with minimal movement, in the gaps between action, trusting the body more than instinct, trusting silence more than noise. The rhythm of the heart teaches another lesson. Time is flexible. Days and nights outside continue as usual, but inside, minutes can stretch or contract. The squirrel in its burrow may experience hours as if they were seconds. The marmot under frozen soil may exist in a heartbeat without realizing weeks have passed. Life inside hibernation does not obey the usual rules. The heart becomes a private clock, marking survival in a language that is invisible, that can only be understood by the body itself. Even the cold interacts with this rhythm. As temperature falls, the heart slows further but not dangerously. Each beat becomes a negotiation with the environment. Energy is conserved. Heat is kept where it matters most. Oxygen is used sparingly. Every cell senses the deliberate pause, every organ adjusts, every muscle rests. The body exists as a system that has learned patience and balance, a system that trusts itself more than the outside world. It is easy to imagine that life must always push, always struggle, always move to survive. Hibernation proves the opposite. Survival can exist in pauses. The quiet between heartbeats is as important as the beat itself. The pauses carry life in a language the human mind cannot fully grasp. Each gap is a secret space where existence continues without the need for constant motion. The heart teaches that stillness is not weakness, that patience is not inaction, that life can hide in silence and still endure. Even larger animals follow this rhythm. A bear lying in its den, warm at first, gradually surrenders to slower beats. Its chest rises and falls less often, its heart extending the time between pumps as its body adapts. Breath and blood flow slow together, creating a harmony that sustains life while conserving energy. The pause becomes a shield, a protector, a hidden strategy against the cold and hunger of winter months. Life continues quietly, almost invisible, inside a rhythm no human can measure without tools. The process is fragile yet strong. Any sudden movement, too much heat, or unexpected noise can interrupt the rhythm, but in the stillness of hibernation, the body has learned to protect itself. The heart beats with patience, lungs breathe with care, muscles relax without collapsing, and bones carry no weight. Even when external forces press in, the system adapts, maintaining life in a hidden balance, a quiet perfection that humans rarely notice or understand. It is a strange kind of magic, almost invisible. The forest can roar with wind, snow can pile high, storms can rage, and yet inside the hollow of a tree or underground in a burrow, life exists almost like a secret. The heart beats slowly, intentionally, stretching each pulse, stretching each breath, allowing time to bend without stopping existence. Every pause is a reminder that survival is not always visible, that life can persist in gaps and silences where no one is looking. Even awareness follows this rhythm. The animal is aware enough to respond if necessary but remains mostly hidden in its quiet state. Dreams do not guide the night. Memory fades, thought slows. The world may feel distant, but life inside the body continues, perfectly synchronized with the slowing heart and lungs. Hibernation is not unconsciousness. It is life choosing a different rhythm, a quieter, stranger rhythm, one that humans can barely imagine but can watch in awe if they notice. And still, the heart continues to teach the most important lesson of all. Life does not need noise to exist. Survival does not need urgency. Patience can be as powerful as action. Even in the longest, quietest pauses, life is not gone. It is hidden, alive, waiting, and perfect in its stillness. Every beat, every pause, every measured breath carries life through the cold months, showing that hibernation is not weakness, but a hidden mastery of existence itself. Breathing begins to change almost unnoticed. It does not stop, but it becomes a quiet rhythm that is no longer urgent. The lungs, once commanding the body to inhale and exhale, now take a step back, letting longer spaces grow between each breath. In dens, burrows, and hollow trees, animals accept less oxygen than they once needed, and yet nothing fails. Life continues quietly, patiently, as if every inhale and exhale has learned a secret language of survival. A small hedgehog curls tightly beneath layers of leaves. Its chest rises slowly, pauses, then falls again. The pause stretches longer than a human could imagine, yet the body does not panic. Oxygen has lost its authority here. The hedgehog trusts that the systems inside it know better than any instinct of fear. Energy is saved. Warmth is preserved. Each tiny breath is deliberate, measured, and calm, as if the body itself is instructing the lungs to step aside. Above ground, a bear lies in its den. Its breathing is shallow, stretched out across minutes. It is still awake, still aware of faint sounds in the forest, yet its chest moves in a rhythm that belongs more to winter than to the usual pace of life. The lungs accept less air and the heart slows to match. Life does not fight. It does not resist. It learns patience, allowing the body to exist in a form that requires almost nothing. Even in small creatures, the lesson is clear. A bat hanging high in a hollow tree breathes with long, gentle pauses, as if the air itself were optional. Every inhalation brings only what is necessary. Every exhale releases only what is unneeded. In the quiet darkness, life is both fragile and strong, hidden in the spaces between breaths, surviving without the rush of constant oxygen. The cold outside does not demand action. The frost gathers slowly, snow presses lightly over dens, and yet inside, the lungs have learned that survival does not need panic or haste. Oxygen is enough, even when it seems almost absent. The body trusts the invisible rules of life. Muscles rest. Bones carry no weight. Blood moves slower, spreading warmth where it is most needed. Every system inside the body works together quietly, conserving energy, holding life in patience and silence. Time itself feels different when the lungs take over this quiet pace. Seconds stretch. Minutes expand. The world outside may change from day to night, from frost to snow, but inside, the body measures life in spaces rather than moments. The squirrel underground does not count hours. The marmot buried beneath frozen soil does not notice days passing. Breath becomes a private clock, each pause marking existence in a rhythm that belongs to nothing outside itself. Even the smallest adjustments are critical. A hedgehog may shift slightly to conserve warmth. A bat may tighten its claws around bark. These movements are not frantic or hurried. They are gentle, deliberate, and minimal, made with the understanding that survival is preserved by restraint rather than action. The lungs, slowing, guide the entire body, teaching the animal that less can be more, that patience can carry life where force cannot. It is easy to forget the power of stillness. To humans, survival often feels like motion, noise, and energy, but hibernation proves the opposite. Life can exist quietly, almost invisibly. The lungs pause, the heart slows, the body accepts less, and yet the animal remains alive. Every breath, every gap, every measured pause carries life through cold months when activity would only waste energy. Even the bear, so large and so alive, follows this rhythm. Its chest rises slowly, each breath stretched out and shallow. The body is warm at the core but cooler on the surface, letting the cold touch without harm. Oxygen is enough, even when it seems almost too little. The bear does not struggle to fill its lungs. It does not panic if a breath comes late. Life itself has taught the lungs to wait, to measure, to accept less without fear. This quiet control spreads through every system. Muscles loosen, relaxing completely. Bones bear weight without strain. Blood moves slowly but efficiently. Fat holds warmth. Every cell receives only what is necessary, nothing more. The animal exists in a balance that humans rarely notice, a harmony between need and patience, between survival and stillness. Even awareness adjusts. The bat may sense a faint shift in temperature outside. The squirrel may hear a distant sound, but their bodies respond only when necessary. The lungs, slowing, set the pace. The heart follows, muscles rest, Bones endure. Life survives quietly in a way that almost no one can see or imagine. It is a strange kind of magic. Breathing, something humans cannot ignore, loses its command. Oxygen, normally urgent and essential, becomes something that can wait. The body takes over, deciding what is enough. The animal rests in this quiet mastery, protected not by speed or strength but by patience, by the ability to exist in a form that is hidden, calm, and precise. Even underground, in dark burrows and under thick leaves, life continues in silence. A chipmunk may not move for hours. A hedgehog may not open its eyes. Every inhale and exhale is extended, measured, deliberate. Energy is preserved, warmth maintained, and life continues as if the outside world does not exist. It is a rhythm that feels almost impossible to the human mind, yet it is perfect, reliable, and ancient. Time bends further in this quiet. Days pass unnoticed. Weeks arrive without warning. The animal feels only the rhythm of its own body, the slow push and pull of air, the measured beat of the heart, the deliberate pause between breaths. Hibernation exists in these small moments, invisible to the outside, yet holding life in its most essential form. The process is not perfect. Sometimes a sudden change in temperature or sound may wake the animal briefly. Sometimes the heart may beat faster for a moment and the lungs may catch up with a sudden, sharp inhale. But these interruptions are small. The rhythm resumes. The pauses stretch again. Life continues quietly, almost invisibly in the spaces between breaths, in the silence of hidden dens, in the stillness beneath snow or soil. And still, the lesson of hibernation grows clearer. Life does not always need noise, force, or urgency to survive. Breathing, once a command, becomes a quiet agreement between body and world. Oxygen, once demanded, is accepted calmly. The body learns to exist with less, to trust patience, and to survive in a silence that humans rarely understand. Every long pause between breaths carries the secret of survival, the mystery of life existing in stillness, the quiet power of patience and restraint. Even the largest and smallest animals share this secret. The bear, the bat, the hedgehog, the chipmunk, even frogs beneath frozen ponds, they all follow this rhythm. Breathing loses authority. The lungs step back. The body accepts less. And in the gaps between inhales and exhales, life continues, hidden, patient, perfect. Hibernation is a lesson written in air and heartbeats. It is a story told in quiet, measured pauses, in the trust of bodies to survive without rush or noise. Every breath, every gap, every silent moment carries the rhythm of life itself, a secret that has been perfected over millions of years, a rhythm that continues even when the world outside seems unaware. The mind begins to retreat quietly, as if stepping back from the world without leaving it entirely. Thoughts that once pressed forward, demanding attention, now scatter like leaves in a gentle wind, fragments moving in no particular order. Memory loosens its grip. Names, places, even familiar patterns fade into shadows. The squirrel in its burrow does not think of yesterday or tomorrow. It exists only in the rhythm of its body, the measured rise and fall of its chest, the quiet pulse of its heart. Awareness remains, but it is faint, like a candle struggling behind a fogged window. Dreams do not appear. The darkness around the sleeping animal is not filled with visions or stories. There is no guidance from imagination, no need for the mind to navigate challenges that no longer exist. A bat hanging high in the hollow tree does not dream of flight or insects. Its mind has stepped back to allow the body space to exist in a slower, calmer rhythm. The outside world may rage with storms, frost may press heavily on leaves and branches, but inside, awareness has thinned, leaving only what is necessary for survival. Even the sense of time changes. Days pass without notice. Weeks arrive unnoticed. The chipmunk curled in its hidden nest feels only the slow rhythm of its body, the quiet control of heart and lungs that have learned patience. Memory is no longer a tool. It becomes a soft layer of background, a suggestion rather than a guide. Life continues, not dependent on thought, not governed by the usual rules of consciousness. The mind exists, but it has stepped aside, allowing the body to navigate the cold months on its own. The forest outside continues in its usual pace. Snow falls and accumulates, wind rattles against branches, and predators move in their own cycles. But inside dens and burrows, the mind does not register these events fully. Awareness is present but distant, like watching from the other side of a window. The body acts, sustains, and survives. The heart beats. The lungs breathe. Muscles remain relaxed but ready if needed. Bones carry no weight. Every system follows the quiet rhythm that has been set, and the mind is allowed to rest, fragment, and fade into a more subtle state of existence. Even small adjustments require no conscious thought. The hedgehog shifts slightly to maintain warmth. The marmot curls tighter beneath frozen soil. The bear stretches lightly in its den. These movements are not deliberate in the sense humans think of. They are guided by instinct, by the body's awareness, by the quiet mastery of systems that have learned to survive without the mind directing every action. In this state, the animal experiences a strange form of freedom. Thoughts are no longer chains that demand attention. Memory is not a weight. The mind is light, almost absent, allowing life to flow through silence rather than conscious choice. Sensations continue, but they are filtered, softened. Sounds, smells, and even vibrations are perceived in a muted way. A bat hears a distant flutter. A chipmunk senses a tremor in the soil. A bear feels the weight of snow on its den. But the responses are measured. They are not rushed or panicked. Awareness is thin, but it is enough to maintain safety. Life has learned to operate with the bare minimum of attention, to survive in a state where thought is no longer a constant companion, and yet existence continues perfectly. The body and mind are not separate. As awareness thins, the rhythms of breathing and heartbeat take over completely. Each pause between breaths, each stretch between heartbeats, becomes a guide for the rest of the body. Muscles relax fully. Bones carry only what is necessary, fat stores maintain warmth, and energy is conserved. The mind, having stepped back, allows the body to perform this quiet miracle without interference. There is no panic, no need to control. Life exists in a balance that humans rarely notice, a rhythm that is precise, patient, and ancient. Even the largest animals follow this pattern. The bear's mind is not busy. It does not think about the hunt, the forest, or the passing of seasons. It exists in the quiet rhythm of its body, in the slow, deliberate flow of heart and lungs. Awareness is present but distant, like a shadow hovering at the edge of thought. Time passes differently here. Days are felt as minutes. Weeks vanish without notice. Memory is reduced to nothing more than a soft echo. The mind is allowed to rest because the body has learned to survive independently. It is a strange experience for life itself. The animal is alive, aware in a minimal sense but freed from the burden of constant thought. Survival does not require panic or constant attention. The lungs inhale slowly. The heart stretches each beat. The muscles relax. Bones endure. Every system works in harmony while the mind steps back, observing only what is necessary and letting the rest fade into a soft, quiet space. Even the cold, the snow, the frost outside has less impact because the mind is not constantly reacting. The body has learned to trust itself. Energy is preserved. Heat is managed. Oxygen is measured. And the mind, freed from constant awareness, experiences a strange kind of calm that is neither sleep nor full consciousness. It is a space between, a liminal state where life can continue in silence, almost invisible, almost forgotten by the world outside. The gaps in thought, the fragmenting of memory, create a rhythm of their own. Life moves in these spaces. The heart, the lungs, the muscles, the bones, all continue to operate. Each small movement, each careful pause, each deliberate breath carries the animal through winter months that may feel endless outside. The mind's retreat allows this rhythm to become more precise, more controlled, more perfectly suited to survival. It is not emptiness, nor is it weakness. The thinning of awareness is a skill perfected over millennia. Small creatures, large creatures, even those we rarely notice, all follow this pattern. They accept that thought is not always needed. Memory can fade. Dreams are unnecessary. Life, in its simplest form, continues because the body is alive and aware just enough to sustain itself. Awareness is distant, yes, but it is not gone. It observes quietly just enough to keep life safe, and then it steps aside again. Even the slightest sound may stir the animal briefly, but only enough to ensure survival. A bat may shift in its hollow. A hedgehog may curl tighter. The bear may adjust slightly in its den. But these moments are fleeting. Awareness remains thin, distant, detached from fear or urgency. Life continues quietly, governed by the rhythms of body, heart, and lungs, while the mind remains a soft echo at the edges, observing without interference. It is in this quiet, in this gentle stepping back of thought, that the true nature of hibernation reveals itself. Life does not need constant awareness to exist. Energy does not require constant expenditure. Survival does not demand constant action. The mind, by retreating, allows the body to carry life forward in a hidden, patient, and perfect rhythm. Awareness is a shadow, a faint light in the background, enough to guide without controlling, enough to observe without rushing. Even as winter grows colder, the body and mind work together in this delicate balance. Energy is conserved, heat is preserved, oxygen is accepted in careful amounts, muscles rest, bones endure, the heart beats slowly, lungs inhale and exhale in long, deliberate pauses, and the mind, freed from the burden of thought, remains distant, almost invisible, watching life continue in the quiet, mysterious rhythm that defines hibernation. In these moments, hibernation is no longer a simple survival technique. It becomes a story, a strange, ancient rhythm of life, a secret hidden beneath snow, ice, and soil. The mind steps back and in doing so allows life to operate in its purest, most essential form. Thoughts fragment, memory loosens, dreams disappear, and awareness thins. But life continues perfectly, quietly, invisibly in the gaps left behind by the mind's retreat. Time begins to fold itself quietly, almost without notice. Days no longer form straight lines. They do not rise and fall as humans perceive them. The chipmunk curled in its burrow feels no shift from sunrise to sunset. The bat hanging in the hollow tree does not notice the hours slipping by. Inside hibernation, minutes and months blend together, losing the shape that the outside world insists upon. Life measures itself differently here, in heartbeats, breaths, and the soft pulse of energy flowing through every cell. Weeks do not stack like blocks. They do not carry memories of yesterday or promises of tomorrow. The marmot under frozen soil is aware only of the rhythm that exists within its own body. Its heart beats slowly, its lungs expand and contract in measured pauses, and muscles lie relaxed and still. Outside, storms may rage, frost may thicken, snow may pile high on trees and branches, yet inside time has no meaning. It is not resisted. It is simply absent, a quiet space where life continues without counting. Even large animals experience this collapse of time. The bear in its den may lie still for days, feeling only the slow stretch of its heart and the shallow rise of its chest. Moments blend into each other. Hunger becomes a distant echo, memory a soft fog. Awareness is present, but it no longer marks hours or days. The body, freed from the burden of measured time, follows its own rhythm, sustained by energy stored long before the first frost. Life continues in a private reality where the calendar has no power. The forest outside is unaware of this collapse. Winds rush through trees. Predators hunt. Snow gathers, then melts, then freezes again. Seasons change. Yet beneath the leaves, in hollow trees, under frozen ponds, time is a soft blur. Each small animal exists in a rhythm dictated not by the sun or the moon, but by the quiet pulses within itself. It is a private world, invisible to humans, hidden from the larger cycles of life. Inside this slow world, awareness adapts. The mind, already distant, no longer measures events. The squirrel does not know if it has slept for an hour or a week. The hedgehog does not notice the frost pressing on its curled body. Each heartbeat, each breath, becomes a subtle clock that defines the existence of life in a way humans cannot see. Memory becomes irrelevant. Dreams vanish. Thought steps aside. Survival continues, independent of time as the world usually understands it. Even the smallest adjustments are measured in this silent collapse. A bat may shift slightly to rest more comfortably. A chipmunk may adjust the leaves around its nest. These actions are not hurried. They are slow, deliberate, and minimal, guided by instinct and the hidden rhythm of the body rather than awareness of passing hours. Every movement is part of a system that has learned to survive without concern for outside time, relying instead on its own internal measure of energy, warmth, and life. The collapse of time has another effect. The boundaries between moments blur. A week may feel like a single breath. A month may pass unnoticed, marked only by the changing weight of snow or the quiet thickening of frost. The bear may open its eyes briefly, sensing a shift in temperature, then close them again, unaware of how long it has lain still. The forest above may move at its usual pace, but inside, life operates in its own private, ancient tempo. Even the act of breathing contributes to this experience. Long pauses between inhales and exhales stretch moments into something unrecognizable. The lungs, no longer urgent, allow the body to exist in a slowed perception of time. Each inhale brings exactly what is necessary. Each exhale releases only what is unneeded. The heartbeat matches this rhythm. Life becomes a soft, continuous movement that does not obey calendars, clocks, or schedules. The animal exists in a moment that stretches indefinitely, yet it is not empty. It is full of quiet, hidden energy, perfectly sustained. Cold and stillness reinforce the collapse. The temperature around the burrow, the den, or the hollow tree is nearly constant, and the animals inside become almost part of that cold. Their bodies surrender warmth gradually. Muscles relax. Bones bear no weight. Fat preserves energy. Energy is stretched over months, yet every cell feels it, alive in the silence of absence. Time, as humans understand it, is unnecessary here. It has little authority. Survival is measured in life itself, not in hours or days. Even awareness of the outside world becomes subtle. The bat may sense movement beyond the tree, a faint sound carried through the air, but it does not wake fully. The squirrel may feel a shift in soil or leaves, but it does not stir completely. Time outside continues its relentless march, but inside it is a quiet, almost forgotten current. Life operates according to the rhythm of the body alone. Awareness, heartbeats, and breath create a private world, independent of the patterns that dominate human life. The collapse of time also shapes the mind. Thoughts lose urgency. Memory loosens. Awareness thins further. The hedgehog curled under leaves does not register hours, only subtle changes in its own body. The marmot buried beneath frozen soil measures life in small movements, in the quiet stretch of the lungs and the deliberate pauses of the heart. Days and weeks are irrelevant. The animal lives in a space where time has little authority, where survival is independent of external rhythm. Even large animals follow this pattern naturally. The bear may lie in its den for weeks, only opening its eyes occasionally. It senses the forest, hears faint noises, but does not measure them in minutes or hours. Its body maintains warmth, energy, and life with minimal effort. Its mind is distant, observing only enough to maintain safety. The slow collapse of time allows the bear to exist in a private reality, where nothing passes too quickly and nothing is urgent. Inside this suspended world, life is strangely free. There is no rush, no panic, no calendar dictating actions. The animals operate on ancient rhythms perfected over millennia. The lungs, the heart, the muscles, and the bones carry life forward while the mind watches faintly from the edges. Each breath, each heartbeat, each slight adjustment sustains life, while time outside continues alone, unaware of the hidden, patient worlds beneath snow, soil, and frost. Even small movements matter. A bat may tighten its claws around the bark. A squirrel may shift leaves to keep warm. A hedgehog may curl tighter. These moments are measured. They are deliberate. They exist within the collapsed rhythm of time, where hours and days are meaningless, and only the hidden pulse of life has authority. Energy is conserved. Heat is preserved. Survival continues quietly, almost invisibly in a world that humans rarely see or understand. The collapse of time is not emptiness. It is a kind of perfection. Life becomes aware only of what is necessary. Heartbeats stretch. Breaths extend. Muscles relax. Bones carry weight minimally. The body maintains itself in perfect balance. Memory is distant. Thought is unnecessary. Awareness is thin. Life continues in the gaps, in pauses, in the quiet, independent of the world outside. And yet the forest, the winds, the snow, and the storms continue on their usual schedule. The sun rises, sets, and rises again. Predators hunt. Rivers freeze and thaw. But inside, the rhythm of life has collapsed into its own private time. Days, weeks, months lose meaning. Life is measured only by breath, heartbeat, warmth, and survival. Hibernation has created a space where time itself cannot command attention, where existence is perfect in stillness, hidden, patient, and alive. This is the strange, ancient magic of hibernation. Time collapses, but life does not falter. Days and weeks vanish without notice. The animals survive because they operate in a hidden rhythm, a world where the usual measures of human life do not apply. The lungs, heart, muscles, and bones maintain life in quiet perfection. Awareness remains faint, distant, and observing, while the animal exists fully in the slow, patient, invisible flow of survival. Stillness settles like a quiet cloak over the body. It is not stiffness or heaviness. It is a slow, deliberate relaxation where muscles let go without fear of weakness. The squirrel curled in its burrow does not twitch unnecessarily. Its limbs rest fully, yet they remain ready. Tendons stretch softly. Joints release tension. Life continues inside each cell, even though the body seems frozen to the outside. This stillness is stable, a silent mastery of energy that humans rarely witness. Bones endure without strain. The hedgehog beneath thick leaves feels no pressure from the frozen soil above. Every structure inside the body aligns naturally, holding its own weight without effort. The skeletal system carries nothing more than what is essential. Even in stillness, it is alive, supporting the body quietly, perfectly, and without complaint. It is as if the very framework of life has learned a secret. Survival does not demand constant motion. Movement itself loses authority. The chipmunk does not scurry. The bat does not adjust its claws frequently. The bear does not pace or stretch unnecessarily. Yet life pulses gently in every organ, in every vein, in every cell. Survival does not rely on activity. It relies on balance, patience, and the careful alignment of energy within the body. Stillness becomes a living state, a place where life continues without display, without noise, without the usual markers of existence. Even the smallest creatures learn this art. Their muscles relax completely, but they do not weaken. Fibers rest in perfect tension. Bones endure each shift in body weight without strain. Energy is preserved as if by magic. Breaths extend slowly. Heartbeats stretch with each pause. Awareness is thin but present enough to respond if danger presses close. Stillness is not surrender. It is strength hidden inside calm, patience, and measured quiet. The bear in its den experiences this differently because of its size. Its muscles, once powerful and restless, lie fully relaxed. Its limbs do not flail. Its head does not lift to check every sound. Yet its body remains strong, supported by the heart and lungs that pulse in long, steady rhythms. Fat stores protect warmth. Bones carry weight perfectly. The giant animal exists in complete stillness, showing that life does not need motion to persist, that endurance can be silent, patient, and invisible. Outside, the forest continues. Snow falls. Wind brushes through branches. Predators move on their own rhythms. Time presses on. But inside dens, burrows, and hollow trees, stillness rules. Muscles are fully relaxed. Bones are perfectly aligned, and life pulses quietly. Energy is conserved. Every system works in harmony without interference. The animals exist in a state where movement is unnecessary, yet survival is complete. Even subtle movements are deliberate. A bat may tighten its grip on bark to maintain balance. A hedgehog may curl slightly to preserve heat. The chipmunk may shift a leaf or two. But these motions are minimal, careful, and purposeful. Stillness dominates. Life thrives inside it. Every cell functions in harmony with the others. Every heartbeat, every breath, every pause is part of a rhythm that preserves life, entirely independent of motion. There is a strange magic in this kind of stillness. Time seems slower inside the body. Energy lasts longer. Heat is conserved. Oxygen is used sparingly. Muscles rest without weakening. Bones endure without pressure. Every organ operates in perfect coordination with the rest. Even awareness is measured. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is hurried. Life moves quietly in a rhythm that humans can barely imagine, a rhythm perfected over millions of years. The smallest creatures rely on it fully. The hedgehog does not struggle against the weight of the soil above. Its muscles remain soft. Its bones hold their shape without stress. Even when the temperature drops further, the body adjusts naturally, protecting itself without need for motion. Each breath is deliberate, each heartbeat slow, each pause a hidden mark of survival. Life exists in stillness, in balance, in the invisible harmony of internal systems working perfectly together. Even the bear follows the same rhythm on a grander scale. Its muscles rest fully. Its bones endure each shift in posture without strain. Every heartbeat stretches the gap between pumps. Every breath expands slowly and gently. Awareness remains faint, distant, yet precise. Time collapses further in this stillness. The body exists independently of the world outside. Movement is no longer required. Survival continues in quiet perfection. The collapse of movement also changes perception. The animals inside dens and burrows do not measure time by motion. They do not calculate hours by activity. Awareness is sparse, memory soft, and thoughts fragmented. Yet life persists perfectly. Breathing, heartbeats, energy, and warmth flow in a private rhythm. Muscles lie relaxed, bones aligned, organs functioning in concert. Stillness becomes a living space, a secret universe where survival does not need display or exertion. Even the tiniest adjustments are miraculous. A chipmunk's paw may shift to maintain contact with the leaves, a bat may twist slightly for balance, a hedgehog may curl tighter against cold. These movements are not frantic or hurried. They are minimal, deliberate, and precise. Every cell and every system inside the body participates in maintaining life, while muscles rest without weakening and bones endure without pressure. Life persists in perfect, hidden harmony. There is a lesson in this stillness. Life does not always need motion to exist. Energy does not require constant expenditure. Survival does not demand visible activity. Inside hibernation, the body demonstrates mastery over its own resources. Muscles rest fully without losing strength. Bones carry weight without strain. Heartbeats, breathing, and awareness synchronize to preserve energy and maintain life in the quietest, most patient way possible. The animals inside dens, hollow trees, and burrows are nearly invisible. They do not stir unnecessarily. They do not react to the usual pressures of life above ground. Yet everything within them functions in harmony. Life pulses quietly in every organ, in every fiber, in every cell. Stillness is not emptiness. It is the most active, most precise state of survival. It is a rhythm perfected by evolution, invisible to most but complete in every detail. Even when external changes occur, a shift in temperature, a light snow falling, a faint sound, the animals adjust subtly. Their muscles shift without strain. Their bones carry weight without damage. The heart and lungs maintain perfect rhythm. Awareness flickers just enough to respond, but stillness remains dominant. Every system, large and small, works in harmony to preserve life. Movement is optional. Life does not need it. Survival thrives in the quiet. The collapse of movement is also a collapse of worry. The mind, already distant, does not concern itself with action or urgency. Memory softens. Awareness thins. Life exists without rush. The hedgehog does not fear the cold. The bat does not notice passing hours. The bear does not worry about hunger. Muscles rest. Bones endure. Breathing and heartbeats maintain the perfect rhythm. Stillness has become alive and life continues quietly, invisibly, perfectly. Even as weeks pass, energy remains. Fat stores hold warmth, heartbeats stretch, breaths extend, muscles rest fully, bones endure without strain. Awareness remains faint, just enough to maintain life, yet nothing forces unnecessary motion. Survival depends entirely on the harmony of systems working quietly together. Stillness is not empty. It is complete. It is the hidden power of life perfected. And in this strange, patient world, the lesson becomes clear. Life does not need constant movement to persist. Energy is preserved when motion is minimal. Muscles rest without weakening. Bones endure without pressure. The heart, lungs, and awareness continue their quiet rhythm. Stillness becomes a form of strength, a living proof that survival can exist in silence, in pause, in the careful, patient management of life itself. The body begins to soften its defenses. It no longer reacts immediately to every small threat. The immune system slows, not because it has failed, but because it has learned patience. Life inside hibernation trusts itself more than it trusts constant action. A hedgehog beneath layers of leaves does not leap at every rustle. A bat in its hollow does not flutter at every wind. The body allows time to pass without urgent response, conserving energy for what truly matters. Reactions, once quick and sharp, now stretch across minutes. Muscles do not tense instantly. Heartbeats do not spike at every noise. Even awareness, faint and distant, measures its responses. The body has learned that patience can be stronger than immediate action. In the quiet of a burrow, under the snow, beneath the bark of a tree, life continues in slow perfection. Every pulse, every breath, every stretch of energy is deliberate, measured, and precise. Protection is not gone. It does not vanish completely. It simply waits. The immune system, like the heart and lungs, follows a rhythm that stretches out in time. Cells patrol quietly, repairs happen slowly but effectively. Energy is preserved. Warmth is maintained. Survival depends not on rushing to react, but on the harmony of systems working in perfect timing. The bat does not panic at a shadow passing outside. The squirrel does not respond to a faint vibration of soil. Life knows when to move and when to wait. Even the largest animals follow this hidden principle. The bear in its den, massive and powerful, no longer reacts instantly to every distant sound or shift in temperature. Its immune system slows slightly. Its defenses conserve energy. Muscles remain relaxed. Heart and lungs maintain a deliberate rhythm. Patience has become stronger than immediate action. Life continues perfectly inside this calm, invisible balance, safe because it moves only when necessary. The body trusts its own timing. Reactions are delayed not out of weakness but out of wisdom. Every movement that occurs is purposeful. The smallest twitch of a paw, the gentle adjustment of a claw, the subtle shift of a shoulder, all are measured and minimal. Energy is preserved for months. Every system knows its role. Nothing rushes. Nothing acts unnecessarily. Life continues quietly in a way that the human mind would struggle to understand. Even the senses soften. Hearing, sight, smell, and touch remain, but they no longer demand constant attention. A bat hears faint noises outside the hollow, but it does not stir unnecessarily. A chipmunk senses movement through soil, but it remains curled and still. Awareness exists, but filtered. The body no longer rushes to respond. The immune system waits. Muscles relax. Bones endure without strain. Survival is measured in patience, not speed. The cold outside becomes part of this hidden rhythm. Frost presses lightly on leaves. Snow builds slowly on branches. Time continues in the world beyond the burrow, but inside, protection is quiet, soft, patient. Energy is reserved for essential tasks. Life does not expend power on every small threat. The hedgehog continues its slow breathing. The marmot remains curled. The bear stretches lightly but does not move fully. Every cell functions in harmony, conserving energy, trusting patience over action. Even small adjustments are deliberate. The hedgehog may curl tighter to preserve warmth. The chipmunk may shift leaves slightly. The bat may adjust its claws for balance. These movements are precise, purposeful, and minimal. Nothing is rushed. Every system in the body, heart, lungs, muscles, bones, immune system, works together quietly, perfectly, invisibly. Protection does not disappear. It is simply patient, waiting for the moment when it is truly needed. The collapse of urgent defense changes the perception of danger. Life does not react immediately to every noise, every shadow, every tiny shift in temperature. The body has learned that survival is better ensured by waiting, conserving energy, and moving only when necessary. Heartbeats, breaths, and muscle tension follow a rhythm that carries life through long months of stillness. Awareness remains faint but precise. Energy is preserved. Survival is quiet, hidden, perfect. Even in the smallest animals, this principle is evident. The bat hanging high in a hollow tree does not flutter at every wind. Its immune system functions but slowly. Repairs happen. Cells patrol. Heart and lungs maintain perfect rhythm. Life exists in patience. Every breath, every pause, every slight movement is part of the quiet strategy of survival. Energy is not wasted. Protection waits, trusting that the slow, deliberate rhythm will carry life through months of hibernation. Even the largest creatures, like bears, follow the same hidden wisdom. Muscle tension is minimal. Bones endure. The immune system slows slightly, conserving energy. Breathing and heartbeats maintain a slow, steady rhythm. Awareness is distant but present enough to respond if necessary. Life is preserved not by constant activity, but by careful patience, by trusting the rhythm of the body to protect and sustain itself without rushing. The body has learned a quiet secret. It does not need constant vigilance to survive. It does not need immediate response to maintain life. Every heartbeat, every breath, every cell carries energy carefully. Muscle fibers rest fully. Bones support without strain. The immune system works slowly but effectively. Life persists in patience. Threats are measured and responded to only when essential. Survival is hidden in the calm, deliberate rhythm of the body. Even small details matter. A squirrel curled under leaves senses faint shifts in soil. A hedgehog feels frost pressing lightly against its curled body. The bat hears a faint rustle in the wind. Yet these animals do not react immediately. Their bodies wait. Energy is preserved. Heart, lungs, muscles, bones, and immune system work together quietly. Awareness is enough to survive, but nothing wastes energy unnecessarily. Life continues, invisible, hidden, and perfect. Even as weeks pass, energy remains. Heat is maintained. Oxygen is used carefully. Muscles rest without weakening. Bones endure without strain. Heartbeats stretch. Breaths extend. Awareness remains faint but precise. The immune system functions slowly but efficiently. Life does not panic. It does not waste energy. It continues in a quiet, patient, invisible rhythm that has survived for millions of years. The lesson of hibernation becomes clear. Survival does not require constant defense. Patience can be stronger than speed. Awareness does not need to be constant to be effective. Muscles, bones, heart, lungs, and immune system all function in harmony, conserving energy while protecting life. Nothing rushes to react. Protection softens, yet life continues perfectly, quietly, hidden in the rhythm of patience. Even the largest animals follow this principle. The bear lies in its den. Its muscles rest. Its bones bear weight perfectly. Its heart beats slowly. Its lungs expand and contract in long, deliberate pauses. The immune system works without urgency. Awareness is faint, distant, but enough to respond when necessary. Survival exists in stillness, in quiet, in the patient, deliberate rhythm of life itself. And in the quiet of hibernation, the world outside continues unaware. Snow falls, frost thickens, wind blows, time moves relentlessly. But inside dens, burrows, and hollow trees, life continues in perfect balance. Protection softens, reactions delay, energy is preserved, muscles rest, bones endure, awareness is faint but precise. Life persists quietly, hidden and perfect, in the patient rhythm that has defined survival for millions of years. The body begins to blend seamlessly into its surroundings. It is not hiding. It is not shrinking. It is simply becoming part of the quiet world around it. The hedgehog curled under layers of fallen leaves feels almost like the forest itself. Frost rests lightly on its back. Soil presses gently beneath its curled form. Every breath, every heartbeat, every stretch of muscle is measured to exist in harmony with the cold, still world that surrounds it. Presence thins, as if the animal has become less of itself and more of the space it occupies. Temperature slips closer to the environment. The bear in its den no longer feels the same warmth pressing against its skin. Heat concentrates only where it is needed, at the core, preserving life while surrendering the outer layers to the cold. The chest rises slowly, breath stretched long and deliberate, muscles remain soft, bones carry no unnecessary weight. The body does not resist the winter. It accepts it, folding into it quietly, almost as if it belongs to the cold rather than merely existing inside it. Even the smallest creatures follow this same rhythm. The bat clinging to hollow bark feels the chill of the night air, yet it does not shiver. Its body has adjusted, learning to match the temperature of the surroundings without danger. Energy is preserved in every fiber. The body continues to function invisibly, almost magically. The line between animal and environment becomes uncertain. It is difficult to tell where the hedgehog ends and the leaves begin, where the bat stops and the hollow starts. Life exists in a quiet, blended harmony with the world around it. Awareness becomes subtle. The squirrel under a mound of leaves hears faint rustling outside, but it does not stir fully. The mind has already retreated. Thoughts fragment and memory loosens, leaving only the necessary recognition to survive. Danger, when real, will be responded to, but the body no longer reacts to the small disturbances that once demanded attention. The presence of life has thinned. The pulse of the animal is quieter, almost imperceptible to the outside, yet it continues perfectly, patiently, in hidden harmony with its surroundings. Even the largest animals find this blending essential. The bear does not need to move to exist. Its massive body, resting in the den, matches the cold of the earth outside. Energy is concentrated inward, sustaining life quietly while the outer layers adjust to winter. Muscles relax fully. Bones hold weight without strain. Heartbeats stretch, breaths extend, and awareness becomes faint. Presence thins to the point that the bear seems less like an animal and more like a shadow resting inside the den, part of the forest itself. The collapse of boundaries is remarkable. The hedgehog curled under leaves is both alive and invisible. Frost covers its body and snow may settle lightly on top, yet it survives perfectly. Temperature no longer separates the animal from the soil, the leaves, or the winter air. The body has learned a secret rhythm. It can exist with minimal energy while merging with its environment. Life continues quietly, imperceptibly, in a space where temperature, movement, and awareness are balanced perfectly with stillness and patience. Even subtle movements follow the same rule. A bat may adjust its claws slightly to maintain grip. A chipmunk may shift a leaf. A hedgehog may curl tighter. Every action is measured, minimal, and deliberate. Nothing is wasted. Every heartbeat, every breath, every cellular function is designed to keep life alive while blending seamlessly into the surroundings. Survival does not demand visibility. It thrives in quiet, patient camouflage, where presence itself is softened into the world. The body's metabolism adapts to this hidden harmony. Energy usage slows. Fat stores release warmth gradually. Heart, lungs, muscles, and bones operate in concert with one purpose: to sustain life without drawing attention. The temperature of the body aligns more closely with the environment. Awareness is faint but functional. The line between animal and world becomes almost imaginary. Life continues quietly, without resistance, almost as if it has become part of the cold, silent forest floor. Even large and small animals experience this differently but with the same outcome. The bear's body, massive yet slow, aligns with the den. Its fur holds warmth only where it is needed. Muscle tension is minimal. Bones carry only necessary weight. Heartbeats stretch. Breaths extend. Energy is preserved. Awareness remains faint, distant, yet enough to respond when truly necessary. Life exists in a state where presence thins, blending into surroundings, almost invisible, almost forgotten by the world outside. Even as the outside world moves relentlessly, inside hibernation, time and presence collapse together. Snow gathers, frost forms, wind rattles branches, predators move. The forest continues without pause, yet beneath the soil, under leaves, inside hollow trees, life persists in quiet alignment. The animal has become a part of its environment, its presence is softened, its temperature matches the surroundings, awareness is faint, movement is minimal. Life survives invisibly, perfectly, patiently. Even the smallest adjustments matter. The hedgehog shifts slightly to maintain warmth. The chipmunk shifts a leaf or two. The bat adjusts its claws for better grip. These movements are precise and minimal. They follow the rhythm of life inside the body, not the rush of the outside world. Energy is conserved. Heartbeats and breaths follow long, deliberate patterns. Muscles relax without weakening. Bones endure without strain. The animal exists quietly, almost imperceptibly, blending into the environment as if it were a ghost of life itself. The collapse of presence teaches a strange lesson. Life does not need to stand out to survive. Survival does not demand constant motion or urgency. Energy is preserved when the body and surroundings are aligned. Awareness can be thin without risk. Muscles, bones, heart, and lungs operate in perfect harmony. The animal's body becomes almost indistinguishable from the winter world around it. Every breath, every heartbeat, every slight adjustment preserves life while thinning presence, merging with the environment and maintaining perfect survival. Even the largest animals demonstrate this. The bear in the den rests quietly, enormous yet patient. Its massive body blends into the shadows of the den. Muscle fibers rest. Bones carry weight minimally. Fat stores hold warmth. Heart and lungs operate in long, steady rhythms. Awareness remains distant yet functional. Energy is preserved. Life continues quietly, invisibly, perfectly aligned with the cold, silent world outside. Presence has thinned. Survival does not require motion. Life exists, hidden and patient, in harmony with the environment. The collapse of the line between self and surroundings is subtle but total. Frost rests lightly on fur. Soil presses gently. Leaves cover curled forms. Heartbeats and breaths continue in quiet rhythm. Energy is preserved. Awareness is measured. Every cell, every muscle, every bone contributes to life in its most invisible and patient form. The animal is alive, yet almost unseen, almost forgotten by the world. Temperature aligns, presence thins, and life continues perfectly. Even as months pass, this blending does not weaken. Life is sustained. Energy is measured. Fat stores release warmth slowly. Heartbeats stretch. Breaths extend. Muscles rest fully. Bones endure without strain. Awareness remains faint but precise. The animal exists in a space where its body and the environment are one. Presence is thin. Survival is quiet, invisible, and perfect, preserved in the patient rhythm of hibernation. Life exists quietly at the very edge. It is present, yet almost imperceptible. Every system hums softly beneath the surface. The heart continues its slow, measured beat. The lungs inhale and exhale in long, deliberate pauses. Cells continue to work, dividing, repairing, sustaining, but without noise or urgency. A hedgehog curled beneath the leaves does not move. Its presence is subtle, almost invisible, yet life pulses steadily within, strong and patient, maintaining itself without fanfare. The heartbeat is slow. Each contraction stretches over long moments. Pauses between beats are deliberate, filled with invisible energy that keeps blood moving, carrying warmth and nutrients to where they are needed most. The chipmunk beneath frozen soil is aware of this rhythm, though awareness itself has softened. There is no rush. There is no panic. Life continues because every system is perfectly timed, working together in harmony while awareness remains faint, almost distant. Breathing becomes gentle. The lungs no longer demand air urgently. Every inhale brings only what is necessary. Every exhale releases only what is unneeded. The animal does not notice the seconds passing. The bat hanging in a hollow tree rises and falls softly, taking in the world only enough to survive. Life is balanced delicately on the edge of action and stillness, sustained by systems that speak softly but never stop. Even the smallest cellular processes continue quietly. Repairs happen, nutrients circulate, energy flows. Every part of the body participates in the slow, invisible dance that keeps life alive. Muscles remain relaxed, yet ready. Bones hold weight without strain. Heartbeats and breaths follow patterns perfected over millions of years. The body operates like a machine in which every part knows its role, every system communicates without sound, and every moment is preserved without effort. Even the largest animals exhibit this same edge. The bear in its den lies massive yet silent. Its heart beats slowly, almost like a whisper. Its lungs expand and contract with a soft rhythm. Muscles are relaxed fully, yet energy is preserved in fat stores and deep tissues. Awareness is faint, distant, observing only what is necessary. Life exists in the smallest signals, in the soft pulse beneath the surface, perfectly tuned, invisible to the outside world. The forest above continues without pause. Snow gathers. Wind brushes the trees. Predators move on their own schedules. Time presses forward. Yet beneath frozen soil, under layers of leaves and inside hollow trees, life persists at the edge, hidden yet vibrant. The hedgehog, the chipmunk, the bat, the bear, all continue their quiet rhythms, operating on a margin of existence that balances near invisibility with perfect survival. Even the tiniest movements are measured. The bat may shift its claws to maintain grip. The hedgehog may curl slightly to preserve warmth. The chipmunk may adjust leaves around its nest. Each motion is deliberate, minimal, and precise. Every heartbeat, every breath, every tiny pulse of cellular life continues without waste. Awareness is faint but functional. Life persists in patience, in silence, in a hidden harmony that few could ever perceive. Energy is preserved carefully. The heart, lungs, muscles, bones, and cells all cooperate to use only what is necessary. Fat stores release warmth slowly. Temperature aligns with the surroundings. Breaths extend long and deliberate. Heartbeats stretch across moments. Awareness is sparse but sufficient. Life does not rush. Survival is maintained at the edge, invisible, perfect, patient. Even the immune system operates in this quiet. It does not rush to respond. It functions slowly, deliberately, repairing, patrolling, maintaining balance without wasting energy. The hedgehog under leaves remains alive and safe because its body does not react to every small disturbance. The chipmunk beneath soil continues to survive because its systems operate together, softly but effectively. Life exists at the edge, sustained by rhythms almost too subtle to notice. The collapse of movement, temperature adjustment, and soft awareness all combine here. Life is present in the smallest signals. Heartbeats stretch, breaths extend, cells repair, muscles rest without weakening, bones endure without pressure. Energy is preserved. Awareness remains faint but functional. Every system works quietly, invisibly, perfectly aligned with survival. Presence thins, yet life pulses steadily beneath the surface. Even the tiniest shifts in the environment are measured, but do not disturb the delicate balance. A bat hears distant wind. A hedgehog feels frost pressing lightly on its curled body. A chipmunk senses movement in the soil. None react immediately. Their systems trust patience over urgency. Life continues at the edge, perfectly, invisibly, with awareness only enough to ensure survival. Even large animals follow the same principles. The bear may sense a distant sound. It does not stir fully. Heartbeats, breaths, and cellular activity continue. Muscles remain relaxed. Bones bear weight minimally. Energy is conserved. Awareness is faint, almost ghostly, but enough to respond if necessary. Life exists at the edge, balanced between invisibility and perfection, sustained quietly without fuss or panic. This quiet edge has its own rhythm. Heartbeats pulse slowly, breaths extend, muscles relax fully, bones endure, fat stores release energy steadily. The immune system functions without urgency. Awareness is faint but precise. Life exists in a suspended, almost invisible state, yet it is complete. Every system communicates, every organ participates, every cell contributes to the delicate balance of survival at the edge. Even the smallest details matter. The hedgehog shifts slightly to maintain warmth. The bat adjusts its claws. The chipmunk moves a leaf. Each gesture is deliberate, minimal, and precise. Heartbeats, breaths, muscles, bones, and cells continue to operate in harmony. Energy is preserved. Presence thins. Life exists quietly at the edge, perfectly aligned with survival, patient and invisible. Even as weeks and months pass, energy remains. Heat is maintained, heartbeats stretch, breaths extend, muscles rest fully, bones endure without strain. Awareness remains faint but functional. The immune system functions slowly but effectively. Life continues at the edge, sustained by patient, invisible rhythms perfected over millions of years. Even the cold outside has little effect. Frost and snow touch the body, but energy is preserved. Muscles remain relaxed. Bones carry minimal weight. Heartbeats and breaths maintain rhythm. Awareness remains faint. Life persists quietly at the edge, invisible yet perfectly alive, sustained by systems that barely speak but never stop. The lesson becomes clear. Survival does not need noise. Life does not need constant motion. Energy is preserved when systems operate quietly, patiently, invisibly. Heart, lungs, muscles, bones, and cells continue in harmony. Awareness is minimal but sufficient. Life exists at the edge, hidden and perfect, thriving quietly in the patient rhythm of hibernation. Even the largest animals follow this edge. The bear in its den rests silently. Heartbeats are slow. Breaths are long. Muscles relax. Bones endure without strain. Fat stores release warmth. Awareness is faint, distant, and functional. Energy is conserved. Life continues at the edge, perfectly, invisibly, patiently, a quiet story of survival in a hidden rhythm that defies human perception. Change begins quietly, almost imperceptibly. It does not arrive all at once. Warmth seeps back into the body slowly, unevenly, as if testing its way forward. The hedgehog curled beneath layers of leaves feels a gentle pulse spreading through its fur. One paw may feel warmer before the other. A patch of skin beneath frost softens first. Life begins to stretch again, but unevenly, carefully, with the patient rhythm of something ancient. The heart remembers its rhythm first. It begins to speed slightly, picking up its familiar tempo, but not fully. A long pause may still stretch between beats, then the next comes a little quicker. The pulse is deliberate, measured, yet full of hidden energy. The chipmunk beneath frozen soil feels this change subtly. Its tiny chest moves differently. Blood flows more freely, carrying warmth and nutrients to places that have waited for months. The first stirrings of life begin from the inside, a private whisper before anything else returns. Breath follows after the heart reclaims its rhythm. Lungs, long accustomed to stillness and patience, expand a little more with each inhale. Exhales grow deeper. The cold that pressed lightly against the fur or skin begins to feel less like a presence and more like a background. Each breath is deliberate, precise, measured in harmony with the returning warmth. The bat hanging in the hollow tree senses the air differently, feels it moving past the wings and chest, carrying a soft pulse of life it has not felt for months. Awareness arrives last. The mind, distant for so long, slowly opens to the world. The hedgehog lifts its tiny head. The chipmunk shifts slightly beneath soil. Eyes blink, ears twitch, senses extend tentatively. Memory begins to trickle back in fragments, yet nothing feels rushed. Awareness is soft, deliberate, a shadow of the sharp alertness that once ruled the animal's waking life. Life reclaims itself carefully, step by step, as if testing the strength of its own systems before fully returning. Even the smallest creatures demonstrate this uneven return. The bat may twitch its claws, adjusting its grip. The hedgehog curls slightly, then uncurls more fully. The chipmunk shifts leaves, feeling warmth seep back into its body. Energy flows to muscles, bones, and cells that have rested for months. Each system remembers its role slowly, quietly. The body awakens, but not all at once. Life is cautious. It respects the long stillness it has endured. The largest animals follow the same rhythm. The bear in its den feels warmth return to core muscles first. Fat stores release energy gradually, fueling the slow beat of the heart and the measured rise and fall of the lungs. Muscles regain strength bit by bit. Bones bear weight naturally again. Awareness remains faint for longer, like a soft whisper in the back of the mind. Yet life is returning. The den is no longer a frozen cocoon. It is the stage for a quiet awakening that moves from the inside out. Even subtle changes matter. Temperature returns unevenly. A paw may be warm while the other remains cool. A chest may move freely while the shoulders are still stiff. Heartbeat may quicken in the core but remain slow at the edges. Each adjustment is precise. Life is patient, allowing each system to regain function carefully, ensuring that energy is preserved while survival remains uninterrupted. Every breath, every beat, every small shift is part of the gradual story of awakening. The body's systems communicate silently during this time. The heart sends blood to muscles. The lungs deliver oxygen where it is needed. Cells awaken, repairing minor wear from months of stillness. Awareness slowly rises in response to internal signals. The hedgehog may notice faint vibrations in soil. The bat may hear a distant rustle in the forest. The chipmunk may sense temperature change through leaves. Each signal is soft, measured, and yet essential, guiding the slow restoration of life at the edge of hibernation. Even as warmth returns, life remains patient. The bear may stretch slightly but does not rise fully. The hedgehog shifts but does not run. The chipmunk lifts its head but does not scurry. Every action is deliberate, controlled by systems that have lain dormant for months. Heart, lungs, muscles, bones, and cells coordinate silently. Awareness arrives slowly, a final piece in the puzzle. Life is patient, precise, and cautious, reclaiming itself gradually rather than rushing into motion. Even small gestures signal the return of life. The bat may adjust its wings. The hedgehog may uncurl fully. The chipmunk may shift leaves to create comfort. Muscles respond to the gentle return of warmth. Bones hold naturally. Heartbeats quicken. Breaths deepen. Energy flows once again. Awareness, still faint, observes softly. Life is returning not in a rush but in careful, measured steps, honoring the long stillness that preceded it. The uneven return teaches a strange rhythm. Systems recover first, body before mind. Heartbeat returns. Breathing follows. Awareness arrives last. Even energy distribution is careful. Fat stores release warmth gradually. Muscles regain flexibility. Bones adjust naturally. Every movement is minimal, deliberate, essential. Life is reclaimed gently, step by step, as if testing the balance of everything that makes survival possible. Even the smallest creatures show extraordinary patience. The hedgehog uncurls fully, feeling warmth in every muscle. The chipmunk lifts its head, sensing the soil around it. The bat stretches its wings, testing balance and strength. Heart, lungs, muscles, bones, and cells coordinate quietly, precisely. Awareness rises last, soft, measured, deliberate. Life is returning slowly, invisibly, perfectly, in a rhythm older than human understanding. Even the largest animals follow this same path. The bear's core warms first. Fat stores fuel slow, steady heartbeats. Lungs expand gradually. Muscles regain tone. Bones support weight naturally again. Awareness remains faint for longer, like a soft echo, until finally it emerges fully. Energy is preserved. Life continues at its own pace. The animal awakens not suddenly, but like the gentle unfolding of winter light across a frozen forest. Even the environment participates in this story. Frost begins to melt. Snow softens. Leaves shift under subtle warmth. Temperature returns unevenly to the burrow, the hollow, the den. Life inside senses these changes, aligning itself carefully. The pulse of life quickens slowly. Heartbeats lengthen less. Breaths deepen. Awareness stretches gradually, arriving at the edges last, observing softly, reclaiming presence carefully. Even as weeks of hibernation conclude, the lesson remains clear. Life returns in stages, systems first, heart and lungs leading the way. Awareness follows slowly, measured, cautious. Energy is conserved. Movements are deliberate. Temperature aligns gradually. Survival persists perfectly, even in the uneven, quiet return of life. The animals demonstrate patience, balance, and the careful unfolding of existence from the long stillness of hibernation. Even small details reveal the care of this return. A paw warms first. A wing stretches gently. Eyes blink slowly. Muscles regain tone gradually. Bones bear weight naturally. Heartbeat quickens in measured steps. Breathing follows rhythmically. Awareness arrives last, like a soft echo of life reclaiming itself. The hedgehog, the bat, the chipmunk, the bear, all return at their own pace. Life exists quietly, patiently, in the gentle rhythm of awakening. And in this uneven return, the forest outside continues its relentless motion. Time moves on. Snow falls, melts, and refreezes. Predators hunt. Wind whistles through trees. Yet beneath the leaves, inside hollow trees, under frozen soil, life awakens slowly. Heartbeat, breathing, energy, and awareness return step by step. Presence reclaims the space. Survival continues quietly, invisible, perfect, and patient, as life returns from the edge of hibernation. The body wakes slowly, but it does not explain why or how. Muscles stretch, but only as much as they need. Bones bear weight gently, adjusting without hurry. Heartbeats are steady, measured, still carrying the memory of the long months spent in quiet stillness. Breaths deepen, filling lungs that have learned patience. The body moves, but not urgently. Life returns fully, yet it carries a trace of the long, suspended time it has survived. Time resumes around the animals, but it feels unreliable. The sun rises. Snow melts. Wind stirs branches. Hours pass. Days continue. Weeks roll forward. Yet inside, life does not measure them the same way. The hedgehog under leaves may feel only warmth returning, a heartbeat quickening, a breath stretching. The chipmunk beneath frozen soil may sense the slow pulse of the earth beneath it. The bear in its den feels the rhythm of life but does not count hours. Time has been softened by hibernation, folded into patience and quiet, and it does not resume in a linear way. Hibernation leaves something behind. It is not visible. It cannot be measured. It is not warmth or fat or energy alone. It is a subtle reshaping of the body and mind. Awareness is tempered by patience. Muscles remember how to rest fully. Bones carry themselves without strain. Heart and lungs have learned a rhythm that is slower, steadier, more deliberate. Energy is stored differently, distributed carefully. Even memory feels different. Life carries the mark of months spent suspended at the edge, in stillness, in patient survival. The animals move without urgency. The hedgehog stretches its limbs and yawns, but there is no rush. Its awareness expands slowly. The chipmunk lifts its head, sniffing the returning air, adjusting to temperature changes without panic. The bear shifts slightly in its den, adjusting posture, testing strength, allowing energy to flow naturally. Every movement is deliberate. Every system works in quiet, coordinated rhythm. Survival continues seamlessly, though time feels unreliable, unmeasured, soft. Even small details carry traces of hibernation. Fur may be ruffled, muscles may feel loose, bones may bear weight slowly at first. Fat stores have been used carefully and energy is balanced, yet the body does not feel rushed to regain excess. Awareness returns gradually. Heartbeats and breaths find new rhythm, slower than before yet strong, steady, patient. Life persists in the animals, but it has been marked, transformed, tuned by months of quiet, invisible survival. Even the largest animals display this invisible trace. The bear moves slowly, stretching muscles that have not been used fully for months. Its lungs inhale deeply. Heartbeats adjust to the new pace. Energy flows, preserved, balanced. Awareness emerges fully, but tempered by patience learned during months of suspended life. The den feels different now, as though hibernation has changed not just the bear, but the space it occupies, softening time and presence. The world outside continues indifferent. Snow melts, rivers flow, wind brushes through trees, predators hunt. Yet life that has emerged from hibernation is quietly aligned with its own rhythm. The hedgehog scurries only when it needs to. The chipmunk adjusts its nest carefully. The bear tests its strength slowly without urgency. Time exists outside, but the rhythm inside remains patient, measured, and deliberate. Life continues, carrying the invisible trace of stillness. Even the senses return gradually. Eyes blink, ears twitch, whiskers feel the air. Awareness expands, but softly. Smells, sounds, and temperature changes are received without rush. The hedgehog senses movement of leaves. The chipmunk notices faint vibrations. The bear hears distant footsteps, yet all responses are deliberate. Life does not act immediately. Survival is guided by patience and rhythm, honed during hibernation, carried forward into full wakefulness. Even subtle movements are deliberate. Limbs stretch, claws shift, muscles adjust. Heartbeats lengthen, breaths deepen. Energy flows naturally without waste. Bones support weight easily. Awareness arrives gradually, observing but not panicked. Life is fully present, yet it does not need to rush. The world continues outside, but the animals carry a quiet trace of the months spent in stillness, of systems that worked invisibly, of time that softened, stretched, and paused. Even the tiniest creatures carry this quiet lesson. The hedgehog's heartbeat is slow but steady. The chipmunk's breaths are measured, muscles stretch deliberately, bones adjust naturally. Awareness is patient, cautious, soft. Energy is balanced. Life exists fully, but it has been marked by months of suspended rhythm, and it does not need to hurry. The forest floor, hollow tree, and soil are alive with small pulses of life. each carrying the hidden memory of hibernation. Even the largest creatures display the same careful return. The bear rises slowly, testing strength. Limbs stretch without rush. Muscles awaken fully. Bones adjust naturally. Heartbeat and breath deepen in rhythm, measured and steady. Awareness expands gradually, observing surroundings without panic. Life continues perfectly, quietly, invisibly, yet it carries the subtle mark of stillness, the memory of months suspended at the edge of time. Even as movement returns, there is no conclusion, no finality. Hibernation does not end with a sharp line or dramatic gesture. Life flows from one rhythm into another. Awareness expands. Energy is present. Muscles, bones, heart, lungs, and cells operate together. Time resumes outside. Inside, life is aligned with its own pace. The story does not close. It continues quietly, deliberately, invisibly, carrying the wisdom of suspended months into the rhythm of the waking world. Even the environment seems to reflect the return. Snow softens, frost melts, leaves shift gently, temperature rises unevenly. Sunlight returns through branches. Wind stirs softly. Life inside hibernation adjusts slowly, deliberately, aligning itself with subtle changes without urgency. Heartbeats, breathing, muscles, and bones respond carefully. Awareness stretches fully, observing but without rush. Survival continues, patient, measured, and perfectly attuned to both inside and outside worlds. Even the smallest actions show this continuity. A paw touches soil. A wing stretches. Eyes blink. Limbs extend. Energy flows without waste. Heartbeats and breaths follow rhythm learned in months of stillness. Awareness expands but cautiously. Life is fully awake, yet it carries the subtle trace of hibernation. Patience, balance, soft energy, and careful observation of the world. Even the largest animals demonstrate this quiet continuity. The bear stands, testing strength, stretching slowly, feeling energy flow naturally. Heartbeats and breaths align. Muscles and bones cooperate perfectly. Awareness returns, observing, calculating, but never panicked. Life has returned fully, yet it carries the memory of months spent in quiet, invisible survival. Presence is complete but tempered by patience. Energy is balanced. Time feels softened. The story continues. Hibernation leaves a lasting trace. Life has changed subtly, invisibly. Muscles have learned to rest fully without weakening. Bones have endured without strain. Heart, lungs, cells, and awareness have experienced time differently. Energy is preserved. Awareness arrives gradually. Survival is measured and patient. Life continues quietly, perfectly, invisibly, carrying the wisdom of months suspended in stillness. Even as animals move, forage, stretch, and adjust, the story does not close. The hedgehog, chipmunk, bat, and bear carry the memory of hibernation. Time remains unreliable. Life has expanded and contracted in a rhythm humans rarely perceive. Presence is restored, but patience remains. Energy is balanced. Movements are deliberate. Awareness is soft, and survival continues seamlessly. The story is not finished. It flows onward, carrying the quiet power of suspended life into the waking world. Even as weeks and months pass, the lesson remains. Life can exist quietly, invisibly, perfectly, without rush or urgency. Systems, energy, awareness, and movement return gradually, carrying the trace of hibernation. Time resumes outside, but life inside remains patient, deliberate, and perfectly aligned. The body, mind, and surroundings continue, not ending, not concluding. The story simply goes on, quietly, invisibly, with the rhythm of survival perfected over countless seasons of stillness.